Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another Weather Plus by Billie. Today's date, October 25, 2022. New. This is my third YouTube channel. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Episode 15, Winter, Pole Shift, and Ebola. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot Subscribers, Suspicious Observers, Hurricane Track, Direct Weather, Ryan Hall, y'all, and other sources. So let's get started. Okay, what we have, I have a Patriot Subscriber, yeah. In northern Wisconsin, we've seen 10 inches of snow, and it's way too early. And this is dated on October 22nd. I have another Patriot subscriber is talking about, in my last episode, I covered about an animal change that involved bear and wolverine. It was a change in wolverine behavior in the Grand Tetons in Wyoming. They had gone from being solitary animals to hunting in packs, and also from hunting at night to hunting in the daytime, or after a grizzly bear and her cub. I submit earth changes are going on, and I believe we will see it reflected definitely in changes in animal behavior. Now, this Patriot subscriber somewhere in the United States says that she watched for hours when the monarch butterflies were in trees, and they had migrated to a warmer climate, but she said they committed suicide by diving from the trees into the ground. And she said this went on for hours. I submit to you that's reflects a change in the earth and the earth's magnetism. So we'll get to it. Okay, so what we have operating all over the United States is a cold front, and Ryan Hall, y'all, does a good job in long-term forecast, like a week or so or a few days, and direct weather does both long-term and daily updates. So I like to use a variety of sources. So in the U.S., we do have an Arctic front coming down. It's going to begin in the west. Here's Texas. Then it's going to move to the east. But it seems to just be bringing nothing catastrophic but colder weather and rain and winds. So that's going on for the next few days. Now we have this from Hurricane Track. Hurricane Track. And so he's still tracking what's going on. We've got a little system here, one here. This is a 93L Invest. Moving toward Bermuda. It's going to bring some wind and rain. This is just an area that may form into a low pressure. And then in this area, he's got a mystery, but I think it's just a little spin-up job. Now we can talk about what happened over the weekend. We had Roslyn. And I'm still keeping track of hurricanes that maybe form in the Pacific, move across Mexico, anything that might come into the Gulf of Mexico. So Roslyn came into Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That was on Sunday. I think there were 2 deaths associated with it. And it brought rain and high winds, but nothing like a storm surge. It came in as a Cat 3 and then immediately went down to a tropical storm. So we'll have to see if it's going to move across Mexico and go into the Atlantic to form something. Okay, suspicious observers. This information is coming out about a pole shift. And I submit this relates to Earth changes. Now, we have Antarctica. So we have the South Pole, according to Ben Davidson, with suspicious observers moving toward Australia. We have the North Pole as being weaker. And the weakest area is, here is Africa, South America, Europe, is what's called the South Atlantic Anomaly. And that's where the electromagnetic field drops down to 120 miles or 193 kilometers. I submit to you, it's gotten much lower. We're not getting the accurate number, but it has split. It used to be in this area, and now it's covering South Africa and Europe. I believe that the decrease in the electromagnetic field is allowing more radiation in, and this is leading to changes in human immune system. And I believe we'll see it reflected in different ways. Now we'll do an update on Ebola that's going on in Africa. So here we have Africa. So here is South Africa. We've been hearing about Ebola in Uganda, and we know that Ebola is a hemorrhagic fever. You get like flu symptoms if you're exposed to the body fluids of an individual who has it, or a surface where those body fluids have accumulated, or possibly to an animal who's carrying it. Then you have to have direct contact to the body fluids to get it. It's not airborne yet, or at this point in time. So what we're seeing in Uganda have been some cases, and now it's up to 90 with about 50 to 60 death rate. So we're having 60 to 70% death rate. So we have this many who have died. I came across this and put this together from multiple sources. Okay. So now, what characterizes it is you have internal bleeding, and you're exposed. Usually you develop the symptoms within 12 days if it's full-fledged. This has a high death rate, and most people are going to die within 10 days after they develop. So you're exposed. It says 21 days, but most people are getting it in 12 days. You develop the symptoms at this rate. Within 10 days, most people are passing away from internal bleeding, and the bleeding comes out all body openings, your mouth, your nose, your ears. Well, just this week in South Africa, these people are not being diagnosed with Ebola, but they are dying, children, from bleed out. And they just pass out and bleed out. We had an 8-year-old Friday, October 21 in Tembisa. October 21, we had a 15-year-old in Soweto. October 20, we had a 15-year-old in Thokoza. So in this area, Tembisa, Soweto, and Thokoza, all children, one 8-year-old and two 15-year-olds, just suddenly pass out and bleed out and die. That looks like Ebola. So now, We have an increase in the cases in, it started out in Mubimbi, and now it's in Kampala. That's the capital of Uganda. And they had one man, and then he had it. He went somewhere. He came back. He had the symptoms, went in the hospital. So the medical worker who took care of him came down with it, as did the medical worker's wife. And then 7 members of this individual's family were all diagnosed positive with Ebola. So that's going on. Now, we have this, that there's no treatment for it, allegedly, but guess what? For the Sudan strain, which is what's being seen in Uganda, suddenly Merck says they have in their freezers 100,000 pharma for the arm that's designed for Sudan strain. And we're going to give it to Uganda free. Now we have this coming out from Limited Times, that individuals traveling to Uganda when they return to Israel, and Israel has instructed their hospitals to prep to treat Ebola cases. And they're saying, if you've traveled to Uganda and you have a fever, we're going to quarantine you and put you in the hospital. So, what do we think Israel knows? And how about Merck just conveniently having 100,000 pharma for the arm in their freezer, when the Sudan strain just came out a few years ago and allegedly there's no treatment for it? So, we the people are waking up around the earth. We saw that event in 2020, didn't we? Where all the governments around the United States, just like thumping dominoes, suddenly went into lockdown, just like it was some kind of plan. Okay, it's good to remember who's in charge of this world, and we, the sons and daughters of God, understand that He is in charge, and we need to look to Him to take care of us. I love you, and I'll see you soon.